Hi, Daddy. This is going to be the beginning of your back pain prescription. It's a little short series. I want you to be doing this at least 5 days a week. I want you to always do this as a warm-up for your workouts, especially with the kettlebells. And while you're traveling, this is something simple you can do wherever you are. You just need a tiny bit of space. So you're going to start with a hip flexor stretch. So you're going to come down. I like to fold it. I use my yoga mat and I like to fold it over to pad my knee, but you could use a blanket, a sweater, a knee pad, anything you have handy if it hurts your knee to kneel on the floor. So taking your front foot into 90 degrees, a low lunge position, I want you to look behind you and make sure that your back foot, the toes are pointing straight at the wall. The tendency is for people's foot to want to come in, and I want you to try to make sure that your toes are lined up straight. So coming into this low lunge position, I want you to have a nice tall spine. So, you can imagine there's a string pulling your head up to the ceiling. Your spine is just a rod. Totally straight, nice and tall, proud chest. You're going to tuck your tailbone under here. So maybe squeeze your glutes a little and really think about tilting the pelvis under so you feel a nice stretch in your front hip flexor here. So this is where you want to be. This isn't going to do you much good. Nice tall spine. Squeeze the butt, tuck the tailbone under, feel the stretch in your hip flexor. Make sure you're breathing here. Once you find your balance here with your hands on your thigh or on your hips, you can bring your hands up over your head. Not reaching your shoulders out of the socket here, just bringing your hands over your head and keeping a nice tall spine, keeping the tailbone tucked under, really feeling the stretch right here. This is what I want you to feel. This is super important, opening your hips. I want you to stay here breathing for about a minute. You can split this up, to go 30 seconds each time, but I'd like you to work up into staying here for a full 60 seconds. While you're here, you can be breathing. If it feels good, you could sink a little bit deeper, but make sure you're keeping your tailbone tucked under. You can open up to the side, take a nice small twist here. You can clasp your hands together, do a side stretch while you're here. These are all valid things to do, but what you're really thinking about here is breathing. Nice deep breaths, nice long exhales, and really feeling the stretch here. This is what we're thinking about. So when you're done with that, you can just, go ahead and switch sides. Do the same thing on each side, breathing, working up to holding this for 60 seconds at a time. Next thing you're going to do is called lizards. So you're going to come down into a plank, which is top of a push-up position. So your shoulders are over your wrists, your butt squeezed, your abs are squeezed, your legs are squeezed. Nice solid line here, making sure your hips aren't up too high nor sagging down too low. You want them right here in the middle. Then you're going to take your right knee, touch it to your left elbow. Bring it back, right knee to right elbow. Then you're going to take your left knee to your right elbow, bring it back, and your left knee to your left elbow. That's going to be 1 rep, okay? So, breathing while you do this. Like so. Start 5 to 10. I want you to work up to doing 20 of those at a time. So wherever you need to start, try starting with 8. Work up, next week, try doing 10. Keep adding until you get up to 20. So those are lizards. Next thing you're going to do is glute bridges. So find something to squeeze in between your knees. I'm just going to use this pillow, but you could use a rolled up towel. Yoga blocks work probably the best, but really anything to keep. You want your knees to be about hip width apart, for which most people is going to be about 2 fists together. So you're going to come down onto your back. Bring your heels to where you can just brush them with your fingertips. You're going to plant your heels into the ground, so when you drive up, think about rooting through your feet, through your heels into the ground. I'm squeezing whatever I have between my legs, I'm squeezing it in, so keeping tension here. My ankles are the same distance apart as my knees. I can have my hands right down by my side. When I start this, I'm going to squeeze my butt, and then I'm going to lift up, driving my hips to the sky, really engaging my glutes to do this. This is all about my glutes, that's why it's called a glute bridge. Then I'm going to bring it back down. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, lift it up, squeeze it as high as I can, Bring it down. Breathing the whole time. Squeeze the glutes. Lift up. Down. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze them harder. Down. Squeeze the glutes. Lift up. Down. I want you to do 20 of those. I know you can do that. So that's your prescription. You're going to do the hip flexor stretch, you're going to do the lizards, and you're going to do the glute bridges. So if I wanted, I would do, by next round, go back to the hip flexor stretch, lizards, glute bridges. That's your back pain prescription. 5 days a week. Do this while you're traveling and do this as a warm-up before every time you work out. At least one time through, if not 2 or 3 times through. It's going to give you the most benefit. Love you.